Hey folks, welcome back to Markelly Farm. We have an electrical project we need to get done today, so we thought we'd bring you along, show you how to do it, and possibly save you a ton of money by showing you how you can do some of this stuff yourself. So stick around and we'll go through it. So Kelly is saving up for a freeze dryer that she wants to get. It's a competitor of Harvest Right. She found it's kind of a startup company. They've taken the Harvest Right freeze dryer. They've researched some of the issues that people have with it, and supposedly they have overcome those issues on the one that they're building, and they're going to come out with it, and Kelly wants to buy one. Now, one of the things that's different between the Harvest Right and the one that Kelly's getting is the one that we're getting, it will operate off a 120 outlet. But they say you should dedicate its own circuit for that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to run a new circuit down here in the basement for Kelly's new freeze dryer. We're going to put a new breaker in the breaker panel and do all that. So if you're interested in how to do that, this is your video. So this indoor kind of workbench area is where Kelly wants to put her freeze dryer. The previous owner of the residence here had a little workbench where he could work down here in the winter and not be out in the cold. There's still a lot of stuff here we need to go through and get rid of. And then we're going to be taking out these two little shelves and the ends of these shelves, so we have an open area right here. And our outlet's going to be there in the back, but we need to bring our power from our service panel way down there. Now this is a new panel we had installed because when we purchased the property it had the screw-in fuses, so we had the panel switched to a regular breaker panel. So we've got a new breaker that we're going to install in our panel for this circuit. Now if you're going to go buy a breaker, make sure the make and model, or not so much model, but the make of your panel. This is a square D panel, and you can tell by the square D here on the breaker. So there's all different amp breakers. We needed a 20 amp, so that's what we got. So we need to go shut the power off, and we need to add a plug. We need to punch one of these out, add a, not a plug, but a thing to hold the wire, just like these up here, so the wire can come out. We may even do it on the top, but we have the piece for that, and it's time sensitive, and we'll tell you why here in a minute. It's almost noon. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take my Romex. We're using a 12 gauge Romex because that's what my electrician recommended that I use for this freeze dryer. And we're going to get it ready to go in the box, and before we turn the power off we'll make sure we have enough wire to go in the box. We'll have the breaker ready, so once we throw the switch we're going to turn the power off completely to this box. Your professionals probably wouldn't do that. They would just hit the main breaker in the box, but I like making sure the whole box is dead before I do this. So we're going to get as ready as we can before we throw the switch, and then we can get in here and wire it in real quick, and then we can just turn the breaker off, and then we'll have the wire to run here in the basement. Now because I'm going to be turning the power off, we're not going to have any lights down here. So I got me a flashlight and actually a headlight I can put on my head to do the work down here. So let's take the end of our Romex. We'll do about 3 feet of it. We'll strip it back. Now when we're cutting the outside cover off of our Romex, get you a razor knife that's adjustable and put it out only to its first notch, and it'll lock the blade in that notch. And then you can strip your wire and stay in the middle where the bare ground wire will be. Stay right in the middle of your Romex, and you won't be cutting the insulation off of your other wires inside the Romex. Now once you got your outer cover split down a little ways, you can grab it with your hand and just strip it down by hand, and then just cut it off where you want to stop here. Now there's the paper insulation here. You just pull that loose and then tear it off. It's fine. And then you have your 3 bare wires, which is, this will be plenty to go into our box. Here's our little clamp here. I keep some of these on hand, so you can see it's got a screw collar on it here. So what it does is you have these little punch outs in your box. This is the same size. There's different sizes, like this one here. You can see you could punch out just about any size that you want. But generally they're about that size. And once you do the punch out, this will go in there. You leave the clamp on the outside. You take this screw collar off, shove this into the box, and you put the screw collar on inside the box, and then screw it tight, and then just bump it with the end of a flat screwdriver to tighten it up. And then you shove your Romex through and tighten it down on here so the Romex cannot pull out of the box. There's no tension on any of the wires inside the box. Now looking up top, I have punch outs up top I can use, so I'm going to keep this clean over here and just come out the top and shoot up with the rest of these wires. So it's about 20 minutes till noon, so we're going to go out and throw the switch. Some of you probably already figured out why this is time sensitive, but I'll tell you in a little bit. Alright, the power in the house is dead because everything went off, but we're going to check it anyway. First thing we need to do is pull all these screws off the face of the panel to get the face off. Alright, we've got the face off of the box, exposing all of the internal works. These are your main buses here on both sides, these metal pieces. So we're going to check that with our tester to confirm that it is dead, even though we're pretty certain already. And then we're going to add our new breaker right in on top of this one here. Alright, we did test our power. What you do is you take your, we'll use this right here. Take the black lead, touch it to the common, take the red lead, touch it to the bus bar. The commons and the grounds go to these poles here, these strips, and then you just touch the red to either one of these. And if it's dead, it's dead. So let's get our new breaker in. New breaker should pop right in right there. The new breaker just has spring clips. Let me see. I don't want to pull it back out. But your spring clip goes over this piece here, and one goes over this piece here. And it just pops right in. And that gives you a leg of 110 volts. Now your 220 breakers are double wide because they need 2 legs of 110. So that'll give you 2 by having 2 outlets. You can see there's 2 here. So that's 2 legs of 110 going out, which gives you 220. Your 110 breakers are only single width. So you've got 1 wire. Your black wire will screw into right here, but we'll get into that in a second. So let's get one of these holes punched out up here and get our clamp in, get our wire in. So you just pop it down with your screwdriver and then just wiggle it around with your fingers and it'll come right out. We've got our clamp installed, so now we're going to come overhead and start feeding our wires through this clamp. We open the clamp up a little bit, and I want to pull these wires out in front of all the other ones so they're easier to work with. We're going to pull it all the way through until we get to that spot where the insulation is still on it right there. We'll get that through the clamp. So now we'll tighten that on there. Once we get it through far enough, about right there, we'll tighten that clamp down. All right, we've got our clamp tightened. Our wire is not going to go anywhere. We've got our wires in here in the box. So now we just need to start routing these wires. I kind of like to keep it clean. So I'll follow these other wires around to where we need to go, and I'll show you where we connect them. So we've routed our wires down and around. Our black wire, we turned, this will go up into here, and we've turned it so it'll go right into that breaker. Our copper and our common wire, which is the white, are going to go to this strip over here. So we brought it down. So now we just need to cut them to length. I'll strip off the white wire, cut the black wire to the length that I need, strip off the end of it so it'll go into the receptacle back here where the screw is. And then we'll have her connected. All right, we've got our ground and our common connected. You can see they just push through a hole over here, and then the screw clamps down on the wire. And then we've got our hot wire connected to our breaker. Now we need to go into our panel, and we've got to punch or pull this out. Just grab it with a pair of pliers, move it around. This little cover comes right off. All right, we've got everything back together. We took our plate off. You just grab it with a pair of pliers and wiggle it back and forth till it comes off. So this is our new breaker here. We're going to keep it off. And then we've got our panel screws all the way screwed back in. So we can work this wire where we need it to go without any juice in it. And we're all done inside this box. So it's almost time to go out and throw the main switch. All right, it's 12 noon straight up. So we can flick the switch. All right, we're back on. Now, how many of you guessed why we had to turn the power back on right at noon? Well, we'll show you. It's so we don't have to reset any of our digital clocks. They automatically default come on at 12. Okay, we're back down in the basement, power's on, and we had no explosions coming from the box. So that was a good thing. So next thing we need to do is we need to start running our wire. We're going to have to drill some holes in our floor joists here, all the way down to where we need to turn the corner and go over on the top of our ductwork here. Now to do that, we're using this auger bit with the screw on the end. A lot of people will use the flat spade bits, but those take a lot of elbow grease to push through the wood. This one with the screw on the end will pull itself through the wood. Now always, always, always check for your wires. Obviously we got to go above this wire here, but if you look on the other side, there's another wire over there. So always check both sides of your joist before you go running a drill bit through that. You don't want to have to be replacing a bunch of wires. You can see how that just went through effortlessly. So we'll continue drilling our holes. All right, we got our holes drilled all the way down, all the way to here. And then right here, we're going to take a turn, go that way, go right through this bay here, probably laying the wire back over on top in the corner there. And then we'll come down that corner and next to that other wire over there that services the other room there. And then we'll put our plug right back over here. So I'm going to clean all this shelving off here, these things here on the end, clean this area up, remove these shelves before I start running all my wires. Got our shelving out of here. We cut this lower shelf off. I left the top one just in case we're not that tall. We can still use that. I've got our nail-on box that we're going to use, and I knocked out this rear knockout. There's two on each side, depending on where you want to come in and out of. So we're just going to come down through this. So I'm just going to nail this box right here in the center in the back, and then when we run the wire down, we'll run it right out of that box. All right, we got our little corner here cleaned out. I'm assuming Kelly's still going to want her drill driver over here that I bought her to use in the house. So now I want to come through here and sweep up all my wood mess here on the floor. All right, all done. We took that opportunity just to go ahead and sweep the whole basement. So next thing we need to do is run our wire over to here. And then eventually this vise needs to come off. We'll take that out into the shop. But we can do this another time. But right now I'm going to go up and get some lunch, and then we'll come back after this. Well, now the semi-easy part, we have to unroll this roll. and start feeding wire all the way around everything and through all of our holes. We held the wire up along its route and we're able to cut this much off the end, which still leaves us plenty to come out there, but at least we don't have to string all of that through all of our holes. Alrighty folks, we got her routed. I'm going to have to buy some more staples because I'm out of Romex staples, and I can staple that up to where it's nice and clean. We've got it routed all the way down, and then we make a corner right there, go down. We'll get that stapled up nice and clean when we have staples, and we've left plenty in our outlet. We don't know what type of plug we need yet. I'm assuming just like a 15 or 20 amp regular plug, but you never know when the prong on it might be sideways, so we'll wait and get that outlet when we get the freeze dryer. Well, I think we can wrap this up. Just got to put my tools away, then we'll be done. Alright, got our tools put away. We've got number 17, numbers right there, marked as freeze dryer. We still got to come through and mark all the rest of these. That's for another day. Now, if I had an electrician come do this, it probably cost me anywhere from $300 to $1,000, depending on what geographical area you live in the United States. But in the high dollar areas, that's going to cost you a lot of money. So you can save a lot of money by doing some of this stuff by yourself. All right, folks, that job is complete. I'm sure Kelly's going to be happy about that. Now, you may have a question, how many breakers can you just keep poking into a box? We're nowhere near what our maximum amp load is, but you do want to be cognizant of that. You can overamp your box. But with the way things use less juice nowadays, like with LED lights and all this other stuff, everything runs a lot more efficiently. And plus, not everything in your house is running at the same time, obviously. So we don't have a chance of overamping our box here. And we actually had a 220 breaker pulled out of that box when we had it redone that used to feed an outlet for a electric range here in the kitchen. We eliminated it completely because I use gas for everything. But we're fine here. If you have any question at all, obviously consult an electrician or have them do it if you're not comfortable doing it yourself. But I think I gave you the basics. You can add a breaker here and there. You're not going to have a problem. Most services now are 100 amp services. We only have a 50 amp service here, and we've never had a problem. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. Come back and see us at Markelly Farm.